Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace, coming to you from Canada, and today we're checking out Should You Wear a Helmet? Amsterdam Riding. I think we've seen in prior videos that the Dutch don't really wear helmets. Maybe some people do, but they're just not needed because of number one, I think just the culture around cycling and the infrastructure is all meant and supposed to foster an atmosphere that's a lot safer than what you would experience in North America. Just the other day, I went for a bike ride, and I actually didn't have a helmet. I didn't go with a helmet, but I did notice that I was traveling at like very high speeds, like going probably 30 to 40 kilometers an hour a lot of the times. I've mentioned before that there's a lot of hills in our town, and also we just don't have the biking infrastructure. It exists, but it's very poor. There is certain sections where I felt relatively safe, but there's a lot of other sections where you have vehicles whizzing by at 50, 60, sometimes even 70 kilometers an hour. And it's like, if you get hit, you're done. If you get hit, you're done. I think that's why it's so hard to encourage people to bike here, because the infrastructure just does not exist to keep you safe. So there's a whole different culture around that. And then there's often an antagonism between drivers and cyclists, whereas in the Netherlands, the drivers are cyclists as well. And there's been that safety net that's been created that drivers are going to go slow, right? And there's obstacles, there's speed bumps, there is, I don't know if there's how much ticketing comes into a play, but the cycle or the vehicles know that the cyclists are vulnerable, so they don't go so fast. This should be an interesting video. Let's see what her thoughts are. Obviously, she wears a helmet. We saw her last video. There was some inconsistencies or just straight up things that were wrong. Like she said, if your bicycle gets stolen, you can just, I can't remember what she said, but just like take somebody else's bicycle. If you forget where yours was, like that made no sense. That's just literally theft. Let's check out the video though.
Oh my God, I'm dreaming. We are in the city of bikes. They are everywhere in the city of Amsterdam. So as you can see, the locals use their bikes for pretty much everything. This guy's drinking beer.
Drinking beer while riding. He's like, why are you filming me? I did go to the bike shop and I inquired about how I could get like a basket installed, which would give me the capacity to be able to take groceries and things like that around.
So can I immerse myself
no helmet
and become an Amsterdammer today? Will they know that I'm not from here?
Yes.
If I wear my helmet. So you see, there's one big difference that I picked up on, that no one here is wearing a helmet. And I asked why. I asked many Dutch people why. Most of them said that they have been born into bicycle riding and they felt that it wasn't necessary and it wasn't comfortable.
When we are little kids, we learn to drive on a bike, you know, so we are safe. We know the rules, we know everything.
Oh, we don't need to in the Netherlands.
Why don't you wear a helmet on your head when you bike ride?
Visible confusion. Like that prior gentleman said, they're riding when they're 3 years old. Literally as soon as they're able to, they're starting to ride. And I think a commenter said kids will often wear helmets until they take them off. But you'll keep a helmet on a kid, especially if they're riding in like the basket and they're like a toddler. But eventually they just take it off, and then free the hair, man. Free the hair.
Because no one does, it's too hot anyway.
So I'm not really sure if I'm comfortable about this immersion plan. Let's see, let's find out. Let's go riding in Amsterdam. There is an incredible network of cycling routes that are often separated from car traffic. I just went through a roundabout that was a bicycle roundabout that was very...
I feel like I've seen this intersection, right? We've seen this intersection in many prior videos. The trams come through here. Sometimes you have cars, but it operates flawlessly. Like, it's pretty cool.
Bicycle roundabout that was very cool. They have their own traffic lights, roundabouts, bridges, their own tunnels. So maybe this is why the Dutch feel that it's safe without wearing a helmet.
Not maybe, that's why. Because the chances of getting hit by a vehicle are much lower.
I've been biking around for about a half hour and it can be crazy. You gotta look right, you gotta look left. There's people all over the place. A lot of tourists come dart right out in the bicycle lane, so you have to be certainly careful with that. But the riders are very courteous. You do have to watch out because
Common courtesy.
they can zip around pretty quickly because they know what they're doing. Oh my God, I just love this. It's so much fun.
Those houses.
So that's the free ferry for the bike riders to get across the big river in Amsterdam. We're told that there's a lot of bikes that fall into the canal, and they have this barge that goes and pulls up lots of bikes from the canal.
The bike barge.
Very easy to rent a bike in Amsterdam because the bike shops are everywhere. Get a lock because there's a lot of theft here. I think I'm feeling like a real
Is there a lot of theft there?
Amsterdammer now. On the bike, I feel very comfortable. With over 600,000 bicycles, roughly 85% of the population owns
I love this space. This could be fantastic for like a sci-fi film.
at least one bicycle here. 800 years of history, hundreds of canals, tulips, windmills, and
Oh, that shot of the tulips was almost looked computer generated
Tulips,
almost. Is that real? Why does it look CGI?
canals, tulips, windmills, and
It's just the
all
contrast of the
cheese you
flowers, I
could
think.
Wish for. It can only be Amsterdam. Hope to see you riding.
You know, I'm from America and I see nobody's wearing helmets. Is there a reason why?
It's because here people use a lot of bikes for transport. It's not very useful handy if you use a helmet all the time. Otherwise, people will just give up because every time you have to go to the supermarket and get your bike and also your helmet, people would give up. So it makes life easier.
I don't even think it's so much like the inconvenience of having a helmet with you and then like taking the helmet off. Like that's pretty easy. It's just more so that it's safe enough not to wear one because the chances of getting hit by a car are very low. So a crash with another cyclist or a crash at low speed, it's going to be not very high chance of getting injured, as opposed to if you're riding in, say, the States or Canada and you get smoked by a car that's going 60 kilometers an hour. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you have a helmet on or not. You're probably still going to be either killed or seriously injured. So within Amsterdam itself, obviously, there's a robust network of infrastructure that exists and that is supplemented, it seems more so by the year. And it's primarily for cyclists. And it's people traveling at relatively low speed, skilled riders, and riders with a common courtesy for others. So it all works. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to comment for the algo and ergo. I'll see you next time.